In the wake of President Trump's attempted peace negotiations collapsing, the geopolitical stage has shifted dramatically, setting the scene for an eye-opening rendezvous between two of the most powerful leaders of our time, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Against the backdrop of escalating global tensions, this meeting, taking place in the grandeur of China during the pivotal Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, marks more than a routine diplomatic visit. It signals a recalibration of global alliances, with implications that may echo across borders and decades. President Putin's journey to China stands out, not only because it is his longest foreign trip in over a decade, but because it coincides with an atmosphere of renewed geopolitical realignment. The backdrop of failed U.S. mediation, led by Trump, has thrown a glaring spotlight on the relationships between Russia and China. As Western influence falters in some arenas, these two states appear to be weaving a tighter bond, one that may redefine the contours of global power distribution. Putin's arrival in Beijing is laden with symbolism. China, growing more assertive on the world stage, and Russia, navigating economic sanctions and political isolation, share a mutual interest in scaling back dependence on Western institutions. Their partnership is built not only upon shared strategic concerns but also upon complementary strengths, China's economic prowess and Russia's military capabilities. The SCO summit serves as a strategic platform for this reinforced bilateral dialogue. Established to foster cooperation among Eurasian powers, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization has expanded its influence, now addressing issues ranging from economic collaboration to regional security. As Putin sits across from Xi, the world is watching to see which direction this influential bloc will move, and whether it might soon emerge as a counterweight to Western-dominated alliances. Trump's failure to broker a peace deal underscores a shifting diplomatic landscape. As the former U.S. president embarked on his peace mission, hopes were high for a breakthrough. That these ambitions have faltered invites reflection on current global leadership dynamics. In contrast, the Putin-Xi summit suggests a more confident, perhaps more calculating, approach to regional stability and mutual interest. The optics of the summit are important. Images of Putin and Xi in amicable dialogue, surrounded by ornate halls and ceremonial protocol, send a message of unity and strength. It's less about performance, more about sending a signal that their converging paths are no longer theoretical but cemented in shared practice. Observers point to several areas where outcomes of the meeting could be felt most acutely: energy, military cooperation, multilateral institutions, and infrastructure. Russia's energy exports, particularly oil and natural gas, are vital to China's enduring development. In the shadow of Western sanctions and volatility in other supply chains, securing reliable energy alternatives is critical for Beijing. Putin's presence offers an opportunity to discuss long-term deals, pipelines, and shared economic projects that bypass Western banking systems. Security and defense are also front and center. Both nations have conducted joint military exercises in recent years, aimed at demonstrating readiness and signaling mutual trust. Within the SCO framework, there's room to expand intelligence sharing, counterterrorism coordination, and even cyber cooperation. Such deepening ties challenge the prevailing balance of regional security architecture, which has traditionally leaned on U.S.-centered organizations. For multilateral institutions, the summit could herald stronger institutional cooperation. As the SCO gains more prominence, Beijing and Moscow share an incentive to emphasize regional autonomy over global interventionism. Whether through tighter economic integration, trade pacts, or digital infrastructure initiatives, the outcomes may drive the SCO into a more central role, one that supports its members amid shifting global power structures. One can't ignore the broader implications for global diplomacy. As the U.S. stands momentarily on the sidelines, its peace talks having collapsed, the shadows of its retreat become more visible. Power vacuums create space for alternatives to flourish. If Putin and Xi align more closely, they may position themselves as viable anchors for nations wary of being drawn into the orbit of Western powers. Domestically, both leaders benefit politically from this alignment. In Russia, Putin can present an image of agency, of international relevance, shoring up his legitimacy amid domestic pressures. In China, Xi can underscore his success in elevating China's diplomatic reach and security posture, even as the country faces economic slowdowns and external criticism. Critics warn that this convergence could destabilize existing global norms. A more unified Sino-Russian axis may embolden interventions in neighboring regions, shift the tone of diplomatic negotiations, or even stretch the norms around neutrality and sovereignty. Yet, for countries grappling with American overreach or Western conditions on trade and aid, this alliance may represent hope for alternative pathways. Still, Challenges persist. Though bonded by mutual dissatisfaction with Western dominance, Russia and China remain distinct entities with different political cultures, economic models, and regional priorities. Their collaboration, while growing, must still navigate tensions around leadership roles, negotiation leverage, and the management of shared yet scarce resources like energy and technology. Moreover, external pressures, from economic sanctions, global supply chain disruptions, and escalating US-China rivalry, could test the durability of their alignment. If trade frictions deepen or if strategic misalignments emerge, the political unity showcased in this summit might be tested in practice. As the summit unfolds, the media and analysts around the world are parsing every nuance. Press outlets dissect body language, public statements, and side meetings. Western observers question whether this marks the dawn of a new era, one where the SCO will carry greater weight in global decision-making. Asian and Eurasian capitals are taking note. With allies converging, regional diplomacy may need realignment. Ultimately, this meeting is more than a diplomatic courtesy, it's a signal of intent. It reaffirms that in the absence of successful US-led mediation, other alignments will fill the void. It highlights the growing ambition of Eurasian powers to chart their own course and reshape the rules of engagement on the world stage. The renewed camaraderie between Putin and Xi during the SCO summit is a watershed moment. It compels the world to grapple with complex questions. Will a stronger Russia-China axis emerge as the next dominant force in international affairs? What might this mean for global governance, economic systems, and security alliances? And in this unfolding drama, what happens to the idea of America as the great mediator? As global power balances continue to evolve, this meeting could stand as a defining marker. Whether it becomes a fleeting diplomatic flourish or a harbinger of lasting realignment depends on the substance behind the spectacle. But for now, Putin's extended visit and tight embrace with China's leadership send a clear message: the world is watching, and a new chapter may well be beginning. If you'd like, I can deepen this further. Maybe explore specific agreements announced during the summit, economic figures, or background context on SCO's institutional history, or adjust the tone to suit your style. Just let me know.